Hello, welcome to Paul's Take, and let me tell you a little story. This is a true story. That's why it's dark out. Gives it more ambiance, more theatrics. Anyhow, this is a true story that happened just the other day, like 2 days ago, on Super Bowl Sunday, while I was watching the Super Bowl. Now, I don't know if you believe in time travel. And not to say that I do, but it's quite easy to go into the future. All you gotta do is just wait. Or you have to go into a spaceship and shoot out into space, traveling as close to the speed of light as possible. And when you come back, you will be in the future. Piece of cake. Anybody can do that. That's not hard. Going back in time is a different story. We haven't figured that one out yet. And I heard some cool little theories, but who cares about all that? Anyways. The point is, I've been watching these different guys, and it's very interesting, these people that are supposedly from the future that supposedly came back and they're trying to help us out and warn us. Well, when I was watching the Super Bowl game, and this is, let me tell you the background. First, we were on vacation. We were in Myrtle Beach. Me, my wife, my daughter, and my daughter's friend went to the beach to go hang out in the cold. It was probably not the best idea, but it was fun anyway, just hanging out with the family. So we're watching the Super Bowl, right? And the kids were in another room, and me and the wife were watching while we were playing dominoes or something. And at this point of the game, the 49ers were winning. And it was getting near the end of the game. I can't remember exactly when, but it was pretty near the end of the game. And the 49ers were winning. I'm going for the 49ers. I'm all excited. So here comes my daughter's friend, comes in the room, and she was going for the 49ers as well. And she says, what's the score? So I tell her, I think at the time it was like 20-10 or something like that. And she says, oh, good. Because I saw this guy supposed to be from the future, and he says the Chiefs are going to win, and the score will be 31. The Chiefs will have 31. And she forgot what the 49ers would have. But the Chiefs are going to win with a score of 31. She says this to me back when the 49ers were up. So I'm like, that's pretty funny. And I tell you the truth, I was curious because I like that kind of stuff. And so watched the game, and sure enough, she was, or I'll say she was right, but whoever she saw was right on the money. They won with a score of 31 points. Coincidence? I don't know. I mean, it could be a coincidence, or it could not be. I mean, that was so right on the money. You know what I'm saying? It was right out of the blue, and they weren't even winning. At this point, it seemed like it was a done deal. So I'm not saying I believe it. I'm not saying I don't either, because you just never know. I mean, supposedly, now like I said, I like to watch all kinds of like mysterious things, UFOs and time travels. It's another thing that kind of catches my interest. How these people are supposedly coming from the future. And I haven't seen anything that were like any gotcha moments where somebody says something and then sure enough, bam! Because a lot of it I think is pretty logical progression. You kind of, if you use your imagination, you kind of figure this will happen in the future. If you really thought about it, wrote on your notepad, well, I think in the future we'll have flying cars that never happened. Or they'll have a cure for cancer this year or something. So who knows? What I've heard, which is really interesting, because it gave actual good dates on it, and I forgot the exact dates were, but I think it was 2025 is when the aliens will make themselves known. And then also, the same year, time travel will be revealed. And supposedly, according to some sources, and I'm totally bonkers, I'm sure, is that time travel already exists, but it's not put out to the public, that people know is top secret stuff. And then after 2025, it'll be revealed. And then you can actually go travel around in the future. So my understanding of what their theory is, and I don't know if this is true at all, completely not. Who knows? But you need a device, right? You can't go back from that device, period. You can't go like if I made my time machine today, I can't go back to yesterday. But going into the future, you can go into the future as long as that device is still working. And then from that, in the future, you go back to the start date of when you first built it, because it's like a Stargate, where you need to go through one and come back out. It's kind of going through the same thing, no matter how it works. Who knows? I heard this kind of theory of like light, bending light, so light will be stuck in a loop of time, a time loop. So when it starts, then you basically go back to that certain point because it's kind of trapped into this time loop. Who knows? It's interesting. I love the science of it. It sounds totally amazing. Could be true, could be not. I don't know. And so supposedly, after 2025 or shortly afterwards, you can go to the future because they'll have these stargates. Because without the stargate, let's pretend if they actually did figure out. This is my theory. Okay, so if you could figure out, you go back in time. Well, where would you land? Where would you end up? Say you went back 2 days. Okay, so where would it be? Where would you turn up? Because if you're just going back in time, you know, the Earth spins, right? The Earth spins around its axis. So if you started off here, boop, when the Earth is here, and then you poof into time would you have come back at a different point in the axis? So you start off in Los Angeles, would you end up in the ocean somewhere? Or even weirder, would you end up in the center of the Earth? If you were this way, you're on this side of the Earth, and then you boop, and then the Earth is traveling around the sun as well. The Earth moves, you could end up inside the Earth. Or you could end up in space, because the Earth, if you're over here and the Earth's going around the sun, all of a sudden, boop, you pop up, you're in space, dead. These are just my own little theories. I don't know if that's even a factor at all, but it makes sense because you gotta figure the Earth is traveling around, and then you're traveling around the sun, and the sun is traveling around the solar system, the galaxy. You could end up in a whole different planet, or just stuck in space somewhere. So you need the Stargate. That way you go in one, you go out the other. Because actually, according to the science that I read recently, it's actually the time is kind of trapped within that structure. So you won't end up in the middle of the Earth. Well, anyhow, that's what I read. It was interesting. It was fascinating. It sounds like, I don't know if to say it makes sense because I'm not a scientist. I'm not a physicist. I'm not an anythingist. I'm just a guy that's curious about things. Well, what do you think? Was it a coincidence that she, out of the air, picked up the right number from a guy that just happened to make a guess, saying that I'm from the future and the score will be 31? Or was he really from the future? Does time travel really exist now? Or it just doesn't exist now, or it can never exist? What do you think? What is your opinion? I'm curious to know. Let me know in the comments. And remember to hit like and subscribe to my channel for more interesting content. Thanks for watching.